So yeah, I mean it's difficult, isn't it? Because I think there's been a couple of positive moves from government in terms of the broader strategy and their strategic approach to things like the National Wealth Fund and the infrastructure strategy, all the measures they're taking around planning, which will enable delivery of infrastructure, and it's really encouraging to see those things. I guess there's still an element of needing to see a bit more of the detail around how those things will develop and evolve and how that will translate into creating a pipeline that's really appropriate for pension fund investment, which is, an appropriate risk and reward profile, and also kind of an appropriate, back to a timing point again, but an appropriate kind of lead in time for visibility of those things, because obviously there's always going to be the challenge of where government is, and depending how they do it again, so depending on whether it's mandation, depending on whether it's just encouragement, I think incentives are probably not necessarily on the table. So if it looks at mandation or a really strong encouragement to a very particular deadline and to a very particular target, I think that brings all kinds of challenges around if the pipeline isn't there or it's not sufficient for the amount of demand on that pipeline, then pricing could become an issue. So if you have like a huge raft of assets all driving, or investors all driving to want to make investments in the same kind of things, and it's all very public, it's going to make pricing, I think, a little bit of a challenge going forward. So I would say sort of encouraged by activity, but I think there's a little way to go yet to see, and we want to get there. We don't want to wait until the proof of the pudding's in the eating. We need to have a little bit more notice than that. So really keen to see a bit more detail on that from government.